लेकिन एक जगह जब हम लोग चारों मिले तो देश के लिए गोल्ड मेडल लेके बहुत सेक्रीफाइस हम चारों का था मैम। हम लोग हताश हो गए थे। बहुत लोगों ने बहुत आलोचनाएं की हम चारों की, और बयान नहीं किया जा सकता मैम। हमारे ऊपर बहुत प्रेशर था इस बार, अगर हम मेडल लेके नहीं आते।
हमें तो यहाँ तक ये भी बोला गया कि हमारा चेहरा देख के हमारा सिलेक्शन हुआ। मैम आज हम में कुछ था तब तो हम लोग गोल्ड मेडल लेके आए, हमारा चेहरा देख के वो लोग मेडल तो नहीं देती है ना।
फोर्स में आई हूँ मैं 2012 से मैं पटेला में रही हूँ। तो साल में मैं शायद 15-20 डेज ही घर गए होगी मैंने साल में, क्योंकि बहुत कम जाती हूँ मैं, कि मुझे ट्रेनिंग मिस करना नहीं चाहती थी कि वो जब मिस करेगी तो सिर्फ मैं ही मतलब प्रॉब्लम होते, दिक्कत होते।
Even when I was on 20, I was not thinking about winning the match or anything. I was just focused on taking that 1 point more and finishing off the game. But then yeah, again I didn't know how to celebrate. I just fell on court and yeah, I let that sink in that okay, I have done it the hard way, and yeah, it was very satisfying.
When I was having a bad day, I can trust him like blindly. He can remove my pressure all the time. So that trust I have on Chirag while playing. So when Chirag is in pressure situation, I'll say I'll handle it, don't worry. That's the special thing between me and Chirag. We share everything very easy. It's like brother kind thing.
Like Satvik said, I think we complement each other really well, emotionally as well. When we are on court, I think we, even off it, I think we are really good friends off court. And even on the court, we don't like Satvik said, we back each other up when the other person is not feeling that great.
Someone calls you an idiot, but you didn't understand the meaning of idiot. Would you still be an idiot? We put a lot of meaning to the word that is being spoken to us, and we believe the words. But what we need to look at is beyond the words, there is a certain underlying emotion. And if that emotion is hurting you, you need to speak about that emotion and believe that that emotion doesn't necessarily stem from your actions, but from their inadequacy.
We need to be educated about how important mental health is. Coaches need to more understand the periodization of the athletes speaking and then talking to the athletes more often. I think those things, because we can talk about the psychiatrist coming in, yeah, those things helps, but the people who are involved within your work to have that communicated in between yours will help largely.
And I was sitting there and I just suddenly had this abundant feeling of like boredom. It was so deep, it was so powerful that I felt. That happened for many years, and then one day I decided I can't go on like this, because this is no fun life. This is not how one wants to wake up. And I decided to give up on my life, and I decided like I actually felt very, very tired. I felt so tired, crying every day, waking up every day with no direction. And so when at that time, even if I didn't want to live, from within there was this meek voice that should come, like, don't give up on yourself. Don't give up on yourself. Help is coming. Help is coming. So I always have this connection with my inner voice, and that was the voice that kept me alive.
हिंदुस्तान की पत्रकारिता एक ऐसी चीज है जिसके बारे में आप दुनिया में सर उठा के नहीं बोल सकते। आप इस देश के किसी फल के बारे में, किसी फूल के बारे में, किसी तालाब के बारे में, किसी नदी के बारे में सर उठा के बोल सकते हैं, लेकिन इस देश के मीडिया के बारे में आप सर उठा कर नहीं बोल सकते। ये किसी लायक नहीं इसके बारे में बात भी की जाए, लेकिन बात करनी पड़ती है क्योंकि एक बड़ी आबादी को ये बर्बाद कर रहा है। बहुत चिंता होती है कि प्रोफेशन जो इतना अच्छा था उसके अपने बहुत कमियां रहती हैं, क्योंकि ये बहुत ही रिसोर्स रिक्वायरमेंट का मीडियम है, जब तक बड़े इंडस्ट्रियलिस्ट या बड़े एडवर्टाइजर्स या जो भी जिनके पास पैसे होते हैं वो अगर नहीं आएंगे, अगर नहीं कंट्रीब्यूट करेंगे, वो आने के बजाय इस तरह की बातें करेंगे कि फ्रीडम ऑफ स्पीच देश की डिग्निटी पर नहीं होनी चाहिए, तब तो बड़ी विचित्र बात है। तो फिर अब किससे उम्मीद करें?
Again, when I finished at university, in my mind there was never any doubt that I was coming back to India and that I was going to become a journalist. I think both of those things are now up for grabs. I don't think I would necessarily want to be a journalist because the world has changed, journalism has changed, and I think there's going to be less and less room for journalism. It'll always be around, but the opportunities will not be there. So anybody young who wants to become a journalist, I'd say sure, but think twice before you make that leap. Secondly, I think the kind of India I wanted to come back to no longer exists. It's a different kind.
Growing up, I never really saw anyone that looked like me play, the lead role, or at least, female lead. So I think the fact that I got the opportunity to debut as a lead, I'm very grateful. But it's never too late, of course. But it's kind of actually unfortunate that it had to happen, this late.
So when Pepsi approached me to do that jingle, I really took it very rightly or wrongly, like an award, like a recognition, not from our own authorities, but from Pepsi America, that I was the number one pop and rock musician in India. So I looked at it that way. And they wanted me to do a Michael Jackson song, the same song that Michael Jackson had done in the Pepsi ad. They wanted me to do it in Hindi. And I said, no, I would like to compose my own. And they were very skeptical. What can an Indian, how good a song can an Indian compose? Then I said, let me try and I'll show you. Yehi hai right choice, baby. Something like that, remember. And they loved it and they okayed it. So that was another kind of recognition, from the big cats out there in America.
I had no plans of acting, and growing up, I was such a restless soul. I wanted to be so many things. Like every 6 months, I would change, the entire idea of my profession. My father would be like, "Ye kya ban jaye?" I don't know, because every 6 months I would change like my profession entirely.
It seems there's a lot of people who want to see a little bit of the righteous rebel, pretty much like Jyotsna Mode or Jagga or Dullapatti or all of those people in Sidhu Moosewala. I have to say that coming from where I do, from my own personal ground, I felt it had shrunk my space, yes. Yeah. As a father to a teenage daughter, as a husband to a beautiful, talented wife, I just felt, I'll have to do a little bit more of work. I felt a little more burdened by the expectation to guard them. Jale, 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 jale. Jale 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 तू मेरे ते मैं तेरे ते बैठ गए जदों पैरे कौन किसे तू.
The verdict clearly said that the nation owes an apology to the community for the years and years of discrimination, but unfortunately not even the government agencies or the agencies seem to believe in that. Otherwise they wouldn't be opposing things like marriage rights or adoption rights, or the fact that the people from the community should have the same rights as anyone else to compete and be a part of the forces and serve the nation. So I feel that the true essence of the judgment has not been implemented, nor have we been successful as a society to include gender and sexuality studies in schools, so that young people, it's very, very important for young people to understand the essence of inclusion and diversity.
anywhere. A woman cannot be spoken in this language, or you cannot, nobody has given you that rights to speak about a woman in that manner, to defame her, to insult her, to rip her dignity apart. Nobody has given you that right.
We see so many wonderful women who are leaders in politics. I mean, there are leaders everywhere. Your mother's a leader at home. You know, she really leads on the front. So I don't think leadership is only in politics. You see leadership all over the place, in any workplace.
My journey has been very rewarding, but initially, of course, in India, everybody thinks you're homosexual, or you're confused, or you're doing it for all the wrong reasons. They second guess your intentions. So for me, it was a struggle to kind of make my family understand that I was doing it for all the right reasons and this is who I wanted to be. And the only focus was to educate myself well and to be successful, because I think in my success eventually people found answers.
Because you see, I was bringing up 2 kids at home with Paresh doing 2-3 shifts, and it was really tough. And Paresh found a huge pile of Mills and Boons next to my bed. And he says, "Is this what you fall into?" And I was like, so embarrassed. So, I was a college dropout. So I went and filled up the form of Annamalai Open University and did my master's in literature. Then I wrote to a university for a 3-month course in drama and education. And the head of the department goes, "She's a Miss India, we must bring her here." And so then they wrote to me and they said, with a CV like yours, would you consider doing a PhD? And I am a very, very typical middle class Indian mother. And I'm thinking, no, I need to save money for my children's studies, And, and we were still of that generation where you thought of a foreign exchange and, not wasting foreign exchange, So, I'm thinking, I don't want to waste foreign exchange on me. But the university gave me a full scholarship and they did not give me a chance to say no. So there was I doing a PhD at the age of 40.
सलाम बाजी, ये कौन है? इतनी खूबसूरत थी, कट स्लीव पहनी हुई।
ये नेकलेस भी तो इतना अच्छा लग रहा है, इनका हेयर स्टाइल भी बहुत अच्छा लग रही है। चश्मा क्यों लगाती हो? लेंस लगा, अपनी बड़ी बड़ी आंखें हमको दिखाओ ना।
इन पे सूट कर रहा है, अच्छी लग रही है। आप कहीं JNU की प्रोफेसर तो नहीं है? वैसी आ रही है इनका लुक, JNU की प्रोफेसर ऐसी होती है ना।
तो नहीं है घर में, कहीं पीछे तो झांक रहा है, वो कौन है ये
मैम?
But Yala finished me. Yala finished me. Yeah.
When you are looking at something with fear, you can't see miracles happening in front of you. And miracles don't take effort. Miracles take eyes to see. And you just need to see and acknowledge and absorb and experience them because they are happening around you right now. And sometimes we just don't give life and miracles a chance.
Friday night and the lights are low, looking out for a place to go, where they play the right music, getting in the swing, you come to look for a king. Anybody could be that guy. Night is young and the music's high. With the way to rock music, I'm forgetting the lyrics. And when you get the chance, you are the dancing queen, young and sweet, only 17.